Connie Alexander writes a column for our local newspaper entitled Main Street. And so she covers a number of issues, but she always uses the arts to discuss community issues, and then she brings arts experiences to the awareness of her audience.
So my parents met while they were working at the same newspaper in White Plains, New York. My father continued to work in the newspaper business, and my mother stayed home to take care of us. She would take me to plays and movies and things like that. So newspapers and the media have always been part of my life, and the arts have always been part of my life. I moved to Murray in 1988, and the publisher of the local newspaper asked me if I'd be interested in writing a column. He said I could write about anything I wanted as long as it wasn't political or controversial. So of course I chose the arts, which is a kind of subversive way of writing about things that are political and controversial.
We had an interesting superintendent of schools here who decided to paste pages together in subject matter that he didn't want the students to read. And Constance was the only one who spoke up about it and did a commentary for us, and it appeared in the paper.
One reason that the arts matter in any community, I think, is that they're a vehicle for people to talk about issues and ideas that they may not talk about in other contexts. I had a partnership with WKMS-FM, which is our national public radio affiliate, and the Murray Ledger and Times, and the School of Nursing at Murray State University to do a project on end-of-life issues. There were articles in the newspaper that I wrote. There was a documentary series on WKMS. And people began talking about hospice and end-of-life.
It helped you as a caregiver and other people to understand what a caregiver does at the end of life.
As a result of that project, which was called Promises to Keep, I wrote a play that's called a spoken opera, and it's called The Way Home, and it chronicles the stories of the two women who I interviewed throughout their challenges with cancer. And that play has been performed all over the country to raise money for hospice or breast cancer, the uninsured, things like that. That makes the arts matter, that people will talk about things that are important. So in coming to Murray, I got a whole new appreciation for the role of the arts in the community. I had never been to a community theater before. I had been going to Broadway theater from the time I was 4 or 5. And I started to understand in a very different way how the arts play a really important role in more rural communities like Murray.
As a hometown paper, our job is to deliver local news, but she focuses on those kinds of things that make our community what it is today, makes us stand out.
And then she has a great way of trying to tie different organizations together.
She has consistently imagined programming not only for WKMS but for the Playhouse in the Park and other community organizations, as well as the Murray Ledger and Times. I mean, it's just kind of remarkable how many ways she can get the subject matter into the community.
And people are interested in those issues and the services that are available. Sometimes people aren't aware of those. The media does a service by providing information, but also the media provides inspiration for people.